I'm Amanda from the New York City LGBT Historic Sites Project. Come with me on a tour of the West Village. It's really a story of the 20th century, how the queer community made spaces for themselves here. So we're going to start with St. Vincent's. We're here in front of the AIDS Memorial, which was installed here in 2016. St. Vincent's really became the epicenter of AIDS in New York City and the nation. The reason why St. Vincent's became that is because they were one of the very few hospitals, even in New York City, to take people who had HIV or AIDS. The ground floor was the location from 1973 to 2009 of the Oscar Wilde Memorial Bookshop. It was founded by Craig Rodwell. One of the things that he did do was he believed that the community should have books that are positive and affirming. He grew up in the Christian Science faith and modeled his bookshop after the reading rooms of his childhood, so that this would be a positive space for all. We're in front of the Washington Square United Methodist Church and its parish house. It had a long history of being welcoming to the LGBTQ community. There were many queer people in its congregation. And then in the early 1970s, an openly gay reverend led this congregation, which really opened the doors to gay groups meeting here. This was the first rehearsal space of the New York City Gay Men's Chorus. The most long-standing group that met here began as the Black Lesbian Caucus. It was for all women of color, but it was predominantly serving black women, black lesbians. And one member said there was really no other place to talk about what it meant to be a black lesbian in America. So this was a really important space for women of color, lesbians of color. This was the former site of the Cafe Chino. It operated here from 1958 to 1968. It's considered the birthplace of off-Broadway theater and essentially the birthplace of gay theater as well. The two go together. So they had a makeshift stage in there. By 1961, they had their first resident playwright in Doric Wilson, who was a gay man, and two of those plays were gay-themed. This is believed to be two of the earliest explicitly gay-themed plays that were presented. The fact that you could have an empowering space like this, even in this really tiny space, in what was the epicenter of the queer community at that time, was really meaningful. And so here we are at the historic Stonewall Inn. The original bar went out of business soon after the uprising in June 1969. Stonewall was kind of a dive bar, but it was beloved because it was one of the few places where you could dance together, same-sex dancing. And it drew mostly a younger, diverse crowd, gay youth, gay men, and people who today might identify as transgender. Stonewall was the first LGBTQ site to be listed on the National Register in 1999 on the 30th anniversary of Stonewall. But what Stonewall did was really ignite a massive movement across the country. Before Stonewall, there were about 50 to 60 gay groups throughout the country. Within 2 years after Stonewall, there were 2,500. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you'd like to learn more, you can follow us at NYC LGBT Sites on Instagram.